They have just finished the anthem here at Commonwealth Stadium. We are getting set for the opening kickoff in this Western final between the Edmonton Eskimos and the Calgary Stampeders. Dan Kefley is with me in the booth. And Dan, you've been in this position many times in your career as a member of the Eskimos. What's going through the minds of both of these teams right now?
Let's get the first lick in. Get the butterflies out of the system. Get in there. Hit somebody in the mouth, and let's get on with the game. Clocks cheap. Now it comes down to who's going to perform this afternoon.
McLaughlin will kick things off for the Calgary Stampeders. Craig Ellis and the Gizmo Williams deep to receive this kickoff from the Calgary Stampeders, who have a long winless drought to settle here at Commonwealth Stadium. Ellis at the 12. Ellis dropped at the 27-yard line. Edmonton Eskimos have the ball. They are deep inside the Calgary Stampeders half. They are 1st and 10 from the Stampeders 32-yard line. Flags go down as they get to Taylor. He fumbles, and it looks as if Junior Thurman of the Calgary Stampeders has recovered. The first turnover of the ball game, but a flag was down. It looks like offside against the Calgary Stampeders. We'll get the call from referee Ken Lazaruk. It is indeed offside against the Calgary Stampeders, so that will nullify the turnover.
Big turnover there for the Calgary Stampeders. Could have got those defenses fired up. Tracy Ham does a great job at the line of scrimmage of audibling and also stuttering his counts. Hut, 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 to try to draw those defenses off sides, and he did a good job there.
So it is now 1st and 5 from the 27-yard line of the Stampeders. No score early in the first quarter. This is Taylor. He's got a hole. Taylor down inside the 15-yard line. Greg Peterson there to make the stop for the Stampeders. So the ground game of the Edmonton Eskimos working to perfection right now.
Right now, with the start of this field conditions, just a handoff with a lead block. Reggie Taylor does a good job off the right-hand side behind Randy Ambrosi and Trevor Bowles. That offensive line of the Edmonton Eskimos feels that they can handle defensively what Calgary can do for them.
1st and 10 Edmonton from the Calgary 14-yard line. Tracy Ham, the quarterback. Like Marshall. And Marshall inside the 10-yard line. Here at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton, Tracy Ham has the Eskimos on the move. 2nd and 5 from the 9. Ham looking for somebody to pass to. Complete. Touchdown, Eskimos! Like Marshall. Will attempt the point after, and as usual, it is good. This is commercial position number 1 for stations along the network. Ron Lancaster can't ask for much more than that from his team. It took him 3 minutes and 59 seconds. The first time they had the ball, they put it in the end zone.
Craig Marshall slipping through the middle here. As you can see, Matt Finley off the left of your screen had him man-to-man coverage. Sees him much too late, and Craig Marshall is in the end zone for a big score.
This will be Tucker for the Stampeders. And he is tripped up just shy of the 40-yard line. So when Danny Barrett gets his hands on the ball, he'll have pretty good field position. A 53-yard kick and a 17-yard return for Tucker of the Stampeders.
It'll be very interesting to see exactly what kind of offense Danny Barrett comes out with. We know about the six-pack, but right now he's going to have to come out and probably with the field conditions the way it is, and as soft as that field is, try to establish a bit of a running game, and that will open up his six-pack.
Last week in the semifinal win of the BC Lions, Barrett was magnificent. 1st and 10 from the 39. Complete to Smith. Smith crosses the 45-yard line. Ruck the tackle for the Eskimos.
Coming back with the offensive keys of the Calgary Stampeders, obviously Danny Barrett's a big key. If Alan Pitts can have a big day out there and create problems for that secondary of the Edmonton Eskimos, and Keevan Jenkins doing two things. If he's in the backfield as a runner, he needs to be able to block and also to establish a running game.
And again, they go to the six backs, six receivers. Danny Barrett under pressure. He can run. We know that. And he's tripped up just shy of the midfield stripe by Bourgeois.
Takes out for an 8-yard gain. Michel Bourgeois making the tackle for the Eskimos.
You can see the good thing. This is Michel Bourgeois getting some good heat on there. But Danny Barrett showing just a little better speed. But Michel had great pursuit to be able to get him on the tackle.
2nd and 4. Make that 1st and 10 Stampeders from the 53. Barrett unloads quickly. Complete to Pitts. Pitts at the 50-yard line. Shy of the first down. He's about another 3 yards before they'll move the yardsticks for the Calgary Stampeders on that one.
Excellent read by Danny Barrett that time. They brought the outside linebacker, Larry Ruck, off the left-hand side, and Pitts reads that quickly. His key is right now, go to the flat, and Danny Barrett reads it, lays the ball out there, puts him in a one-on-one situation, 8-yard completion.
2nd and 3 from the 50-yard line. Early first quarter action. Eskimos leading 7-0. Barrett, good read. Pitts gets the first down and comes up just shy of the 40-yard line.
Defensive keys of Edmonton. Obviously, Michel Bourgeois, they feel that he needs to be able to get some heat up front. Enos Jackson is going to be the halfback on the inside, having to play against Alan Pitts. And Mike Babbs is the safety. From talking to the defensive coordinator, Rich Stugler, he's going to be very integral part of that Edmonton secondary today in coverage.
1st and 10 Stampeders from the Eskimos 41. Barrett, good time. Just floats it out there, looking for plan, but it was way over his head. So that is the first misfire by Danny Barrett and the Calgary offense.
Good job by the Edmonton defense that time. What they did the previous 2 plays, they brought Larry Ruck off the outside and put some heat on him and played man-to-man on the weak side. This time they faked like they were bringing Larry Ruck, fell back in the zone coverage, caught Danny Barrett. Danny, being the smart quarterback that he is, just threw the ball out of bounds.
Again, the Calgary Stampeders going to their 6-back. Offside, and the play is blown down. Let's go down the sidelines and Chris Cuthbert. Chris?
Well, Steve, footwear is key on a day like today, and Imelda Marcos would love the Calgary Stampeders. Each player brought at least 6 pairs of shoes. Greg Peterson brought 9. They have over 600 shoes in the Calgary Stampeder camp. These are the type they're using, the short plastic cleat. They're called Destroyers or Sharks. Funny, though, that nobody seemed to like my shoes. I like the snowmobile snow tire thing. I can make all the cuts on the field. And Dan Kepley, no staples on anybody's shoes today.
That, of course, in reference to the Grey Cup game in Montreal one year, when they did indeed put staples in the bottom of their shoes. 2nd and 5 from the 36 Stampeders. Barrett complete to Sapunjas. Sapunjas has got a hole. He could go. Touchdown. Sapunjas for the Calgary Stampeders. Over 1,000 fans made the trip up from Calgary for this game, and they have something to cheer about.
Quick read by Danny Barrett. Throwing just the punches to the wide side. The Edmonton defense just over pursue. They get outside of David Sapunjas. He makes a good cut back inside, and it's nothing but smelling the goal line that's in front of him.
And Mark McLaughlin is good on a point after. We are tied at 7. Took the Eskimos 3 minutes and 59 seconds to put their first points on the board. 3:24 for the Calgary Stampeders. We are tied at 7 with 7:37 to play in the opening quarter here at Commonwealth Stadium. Gibbs watches that go out of bounds. So they'll probably do it all over again.
The man of the hour right now, David David Sapunjas catches the ball inside, and you can see there's 4 Edmonton Eskimos outside of him, and what he does once he gets around those 4 is able to run around and away from the pursuit of the defense and makes a big score. Danny Barrick stands in the pack and knows he's going to take a shot, and there's Michel Bugeaud in front, hitting him up in the face.
When you think of the Calgary Stampeder receivers, the name David Sapunjas doesn't exactly jump out at you, but he really has become a key part of that receiving corps, especially when they go to the 6-pack.
Well, it's very similar. Himself and also a guy like Sean Beals. When you're out there with a guy in class of Alan Pitts, everybody looks at Pitts. And Danny Barrett had said, he said, with the talent of Alan Pitts, teams overlook those kind of guys, and if they do, I'll just make them known.
McLaughlin now picking out from the 30. This is the Giz at the 20, 30. And the Giz battles his way out just shy of the 40-yard line, where Tracy Ham and company will have pretty good field position, a 59-yard kickoff, and an 18-yard return for the Giz.
Coming down the pack here now, the Edmonton Eskimos, the offensive keys. Tracy Ham runs this whole show. But the addition now of having Blake Marshall back in the backfield, being able to run and pass. And the big key right now is for Tracy to be able to get the ball in the hands of Craig Ellis and let him do what he does best, and that's pitch and catch.
1st and 10 Eskimos from their own 38. And he's going to be dropped. The first sack of the game. Matt Finley of the Stampeders. He had 5 sacks over the course of the regular season, and there's a big one on Tracy Ham right here.
Defensive keys here, number 81, MVP in the West as the best defensive player, Will Johnson. Obviously, the big play right now will be number 51, the middle linebacker, Alondro Johnson, will have to do a lot to be able to cover a lot of ground back there. And also now that it would be Tony Anthony at the halfback.
2nd and 13 from the 35. Just dumps it off, and it could be almost intercepted. He was looking for Taylor, but again, it was Matt Finley who got a piece of the ball, but unfortunately, he was unable to hang on. Interference against the Calgary Stampeders. So that will move the ball up to the 45-yard line, where the Eskimos, because of that loss earlier on the sack, are now 2nd and 3. Marshall and Taylor, the running backs. They give to Marshall. Marshall showing good determination, crosses the 50-yard line. And that moves the yardsticks. Cofield in on the tackle. There's the head coach of the Edmonton Eskimos, Ron Lancaster, looking for his first ever playoff win. 2 years with the Saskatchewan Roughriders as head coach. Of course, they never made the playoffs, and the Eskimos had the bye through to the Western Final. 1st and 10 Eskimos from the 50. Ham fakes the throw, gives to Taylor. Finley reads that well and makes the tackle at the 50-yard line, which was the original line of scrimmage.
Coming out early, trying to throw the hitch screen to Jim Sandusky and running by the old Statue of Liberty play. But Matt Finley on the outside is not going to have anything to do with this. What Tracy didn't do before is throw that pattern out there 2 or 3 times to try to get the defense to bite on it a bit and try to set that play up for later on.
2nd and 10 for the Eskimos from the 50. Time, looking long. Armstrong is open. Could go. Touchdown, Chris Armstrong.
Came off the line of scrimmage, gave a little shoulder fake outside, but was able to get behind the safety, Greg Peterson, and number 7, Darryl Hall, and haul that in. Chris Johnston has been a great addition here for this Edmonton offense. Dorsey stood in there, took a shot, and a very happy quarterback right now.
Ron Lancaster told us yesterday that if the Eskimos had a weakness on offense, it was the fact that they didn't fire the ball long often enough. And he said that that would be one of the things he would try to do against the Calgary Stampeders, and that would be the long pass. Well, the long pass certainly worked that time for the Eskimos, who now lead 13-7 over the Stamps. Welcome back to the Western Final at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. Steve Armitage and Dan Kepley in the booth. Chris Cuthbert is down on the sidelines as the Edmonton Eskimos get set to try the point after. Dean Dorsey. Should be automatic. Try and make it 14-7. 14-7 it is, but a flag goes down. Junior Thurman probably offside. He was indeed, so the point stands. It is a 7-point lead for the Edmonton Eskimos over the Calgary Stampeders. Dean Dorsey getting set to kick off following the TD. Field conditions about as good as you can expect this time of year at Commonwealth Stadium. This is Tucker at the 30. Is forced out of play at the 37-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Stampeders from their own 37-yard line. They trail 14-7. Barrett indicating he wants his receivers to go line. He's looking for Pitts. Pitts is open! Inside the 20-yard line, flags are down, and it could be offensive interference, maybe on Pitts. It is.
It is. Alan Pitts, just without a doubt, pushed off of Thomas, the cornerback, at this play. Once he saw Danny Barrett in trouble in the backfield, Danny Barrett waved his hands, told him to go a little deep, and Pitts just tried to help himself a little bit by creating a little more cushion. Made the catch, but they're calling this back. Null and void. Just right at the last minute with his right hand here, there's the push. And he goes in and creates that separation, allows him to catch the ball for a big gain, but it's all for naught and it's coming back.
That's all you need. A gentle shove, push like that. Offensive interference against Alan Pitts, who had a good day against the BC Lions in the Western semifinal. 6 receptions for 173 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ball from Ken Lazaruk.
First down,
so that moves the yardsticks back. Wally Buono obviously not happy. His coaching record in the playoffs, 1-1. As we mentioned earlier, 1,000 fans made the trek up from Calgary, and they are a noisy bunch, just like they were in the semifinal. 1st and 20 now for the Stamps from their own 27. Barrett is set. Getting in on top of Danny Barrett, and Barrett had no chance whatsoever to get set on that play.
Danny Bass, one of the best middle linebackers in the CFL today, picked his time, great timing before the snap of the ball, is able to beat him inside. He beat more the left tackle, and Danny Barrett never saw Danny Bass coming, and he gets a good shot in there. One of the big plays of why Danny Bass was so successful there was the nose tackle. Michel Bourgeot was able to occupy the center and the front side guard.
It is now 2nd and 27. Quick pass to Simeon, and he can't hang on, in and out of his hands. The Edmonton Eskimos thought it may have been a live ball because the ball could have been thrown behind the line of scrimmage, but it was ruled a forward pass. A little bit of shoving and pushing on the field. There is no love lost between these two teams. And there has been really down through the years. Dan Kepley can tell us more about that.
It truly is. I mean, when they say the Hatfield McCoys, it is a rivalry. It is a game fight out there. And it's promising. They're not only going to try to do it by words as they did all week long. They kept fairly quiet. But now it's a matter of who can whip who on this field.
First punt of the game. Jerry Carr. Doesn't kick him long, but he kicks him high. This is Ellis. And Ellis dies across the 40-yard line of the Stampeders. So Tracy Ham and the Edmonton Eskimos offense will have excellent field position when we return. The Eskimos. 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line of the Calgary Stampeders. This is Marshall. And Marshall picks up 3 or 4 yards the hard way, gets down to the 35-yard line.
Johnson to Johnson.
Spreading out the offense. Tracy comes out. He runs trips to the right side. Reggie Taylor is the halfback, waggles him out to the weak side, trying to spread the Calgary defense across the board, and then runs the inside draw play to Blake Marshall. But there, Will Johnson and also Tim Cofield had nothing to do with it.
The Giz, Henry Williams, into the game for the Eskimos, flanked wide to the left side. 2nd and 7 for Edmonton.
Looking to go.
Complete to Blake Marshall. Can't stay on his feet. Does a good job in getting up and going for another 5 yards. Excellent effort there from Blake Marshall down to the 25-yard line.
Came back. Tracy's looking to the left. He wants to go deep to the Giz, but Giz is covered. Dumps it off to Blake. Blake's fairly agile, but he's able to see as the defenders of the Calgary Stampeders over pursue, is able to get up and pick up a big first down and keep the drive alive.
1st and 10 Eskimos on the 25-yard line of Calgary. Edmonton lead 14-7. Tracy Ham puts it up, going long. The Giz is open. Oh, he had it, but he couldn't hang on. The Giz was open, had the ball in his hands, but he couldn't squeeze it long enough for the touchdown.
Steve, as we talked earlier, Giz has got Tucker beaten by 2 or 3 yards. The ball's laid out there perfectly. It just hits him in the hands. Needs to cut. You take a good look at Tracy here. He knows he's thrown a good pass. He thinks it's there. Little disappointment right at the end, but he'll come back to Giz later on in this game.
As a past member of the quarterback union, we used to say hit him in a bad place, right in the hands. 2nd and 10 now for the Eskimos. Ham again getting good time, and he goes back to Williams, complete, and that'll be close to a first down. They'll need about 1.5 yards for the first down. What do you do now, Coach?
Good thing about Giz, again, as I said, he'll come back to him quickly because Tracy wants to build in the confidence to Giz. Very soft zone coverage right here. Giz just sees it, breaks to the out. Just a little short. It's third and about 3, 2.5. They're sending in the elephant offense here. And this is the kind of thing that Ronnie Lancaster had talked about yesterday. He knows when they send in the elephant offense that they also send in the elephant defense, or the big guys on defense. What we thought he may do was come in with his spread offense again and try to run Blake Marshall inside. But obviously he changed his thoughts a little bit since yesterday.
Calgary trying to stack the middle, anticipating the Eskimos are going up the middle. 3rd and just over 2 yards. Ham fakes. He's going to put it up. He's under pressure. Will Johnson slips. Ham still hasn't got the first down. A big gamble by the Edmonton Eskimos, and it backfires as Tracy Ham comes up short of the first down. So the Calgary Stampeders and their defense do the job. They take over on downs.
Great discipline by the Calgary defense. As Tracy's running around, everybody in the secondary, which you can't see, has got a man locked up and staying in his pocket, not allowing him to come free, and allowing the pursuit by the defensive lineman to hopefully shut Tracy Ham down, as they did.
Tracy Ham had 998 yards rushing over the course of the regular season, but came up short that time. It is now 1st and 10. Stampeders from their own 16. The ball carrier, and he's dropped for a loss. Danny Bass leading the way for the Eskimos.
Again, I can't say enough about Danny Bass. I really do respect his ability. Does a great job of anticipating and reading. He's on the blitz. He sees number 63, Bill Henry, pull. He's right in his pocket, comes behind him, and is able to make a big tackle for a loss.
A loss of about 2 yards, so make it 2nd and 12. Forced out of the pocket, still on his feet, but he's short of the first down. He crosses the 20-yard line. Willie Pless in there to make the stop for the Eskimos. And there goes the gun to end the first quarter of play here at Commonwealth Stadium. The Edmonton Eskimos leading the Calgary Stampeders 14-7. shot from a camera located 130 feet above the stadium turf here at Commonwealth. Corrick mishits that one. Bad kick by Corrick. It goes out of bounds at about the 30-yard line, and we get some pushing and shoving from Corrick, the former Eskimo. A 9-yard punt and no return. Of all the times for Jerry Corrick to miss-hit a punt, that was not one of them.
Corrick absolutely lost his concentration. And if we can see, we're going to take a look at the punt again, hopefully after we get a call from Ken Lazaruk here.
Objectional conduct, the call against Corrick. So as well as a bad punt, he takes a foolish penalty. And that gives the Edmonton Eskimos excellent field position.
You can see the snap to Jerry Corrick, but look behind you, number 51, Alandro Johnson is offsides. He's onside so that he is able to go down and be able to recover the punt. That may have been a design play, and I think Jerry Corrick was trying to kick it a little shorter, but here's where Jerry Corrick lost his control.
First and 10 Eskimos from the 19. Taylor runs inside. A flag down. Let's take a look at the statistical story in that first quarter here at Edmonton.
Without a doubt, all Edmonton Eskimos to begin with after that first series of plays that Calgary went down and scored. 9 minutes and 15 seconds is a big thing. If the Edmonton Eskimos, obviously, their best defense is to keep the Calgary offense off the field.
Only 12 yards rushing for the Calgary Stampeders. Fair to say their running game, which Wally Bruno says if you see us run a lot, you know we're in trouble. He wants to put the ball in the air, but right now, yes, have it. First and 5 from the 14-yard line. Tracy Ham looking for somebody to pass to. He threw it to Taylor. He couldn't hang on. That looked like a broken play to me. It looked like Tracy Ham was expecting to do something other than what he was doing. He looked like he was lost.
He did. When he came out from underneath the center, it looked like he was going to try to play the counter play back inside to Reggie Taylor. Tracy scrambling out to his left, throws the ball up. The ball's in the end zone. And Alondra Johnson's just going to come and let Tracy know, I'm going to get in your face and I'm going to be here all day long.
So it'll be 2nd and 5 for the Eskimos from the Stampeders' 14-yard line. Edmonton leading Calgary 14-7. The second quarter just underway. They give to Taylor again. Taylor looking for running room. There's none to be had. The Stampeders' defense once again do their job. Holding against the Eskimos. Holding the call. Declined by the Stampeders, and that'll bring on the field goal unit. Dean Dorsey, he played 6 games for the Eskimos, 11 of 15 in the field goal department, 73%. And this kick from the 20. And it's good. So the Edmonton Eskimos widen their margin over the Stampeders to 10 points with 13:18 to play, second quarter. One of the newest owners in the CFL, Larry Rickman, who purchased the Calgary Stampeders a few weeks ago, not too happy, obviously, because his club is trailing 17-7. He was down at field level leading the cheers before the game. This is Tucker at the 25. Slips at the 30, still on his feet. Finds a bit of a hole. Good return by Tucker to the 42-yard line. Willie Pless is there to meet him. A 55-yard kick and a 22-yard return from Errol Tucker.
43, Jed Roberts, one of the big special team players for the Edmonton Eskimos, comes down, looks like he's untouched, and all of a sudden he just gets leveled, pushed out of the block, and he gets the block right into his back, and Marshall Toner just decides to lay on him and keep him down there. That's the best place you know how to get it.
Stampeders have some work to do. They don't want to fall too far behind against the Eskimos. Keevan Jenkins, his first carry of the game, and he picks up 7 yards. Trip up by Ruck.
Keevan Jenkins, the ball carrier.
He had an excellent game in the fourth quarter for the Calgary Stampeders against the BC Lions when they controlled the ball with just over 3 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Kevan Jenkins and Annie McVeigh did the job along with that offensive line. 2nd and 4 for Calgary.
Calgary is now going back to more of a conventional offense. 2 setbacks.
Barrett with time. Complete to Carl Bland. Bland down at the 45-yard line of the Edmonton Eskimos. That shows you the power of Danny Barrett's arm. That ball was thrown on a rope.
Danny Barrett drops straight back. Good protection up front there. It allows Danny Barrett to see the whole field. Carl Bland makes a good cut inside on Roy Bennett. The ball's thrown outside, and Bland does a great job of making a reception.
A 17-yard pickup. 1st and 10 Stampeders from the Eskimos 45. And that time, in and out of the arms of Bland. Should have had that one. Hit him right in the hands. One of the things I like about Danny Barrett is the number of interceptions he threw all season long. Only 5. One of the most accurate passers in the CFL.
Steve, I think that came down to about 1 every 88 tosses out there.
That's a remarkable record. 2nd and 10 for Barrett and the Stampeders offense. Throws on the run to Kevan Jenkins, and he is tripped up shy of the 1st down. He had to get to the 35-yard line, and they mark it at about the 37.
Edmonton defense coming all out. Willie pass off to the corner. Danny Bass up the middle. The first back out is Kevan Jenkins, and in the defensive scheme, that is the responsibility of Mike Babbs, the safety. The safety closed up quite quickly, and it makes it 3rd and short, and the Calgary are going for a field goal.
You might as well pick up some points whenever you can, and that's what they're going to do. Mark McLaughlin from the 44-yard line. Wide. It had the legs, but it was wide. This is the giz. And he'll run around and run off some time on the clock and finally runs out of the end zone before conceding the single point to the Calgary Stampeders. Chris, it is now 1st and 10 for the Eskimos around the 52. They pitch to Taylor. Taylor crosses the midfield stripe and gets into Calgary Stampeder territory.
Talking with some of the coaches of the offense of the Edmonton Eskimos, they felt that one thing they needed to do and had not been doing very well was running the ball wide, running the ball outside and utilizing Taylor's speed. This time they're trying to get outside, but Calgary has got such a great speed-oriented defense. It shuts that down and cuts it back in so that Taylor gets caught by the pursuit.
2nd and 7. Edmonton. The ball just over the Calgary midfield stripe. Ham looking long. Complete to Ellis. And Ellis pushed out a play at the 15-yard line by Darrell Hall. A 40-yard gain. Tracy Ham to that man, Craig Ellis, his favorite target.
One of the Eskimos and Tracy's favorite play. Sprint right, throw back, post corner to Craig Ellis. He's one-on-one against Darrell Hall. Has him beat by a couple of yards, and Tracy lays it out there. Craig does a great job of hauling it in.
1st and 15. Make it 1st and 10 from the 15 for the Eskimos. Ham again going on. His man is wide open. It looks like a penalty. The pass was incomplete.
Steve, we could get offensive pass interference on Jim Sandusky on this one. They got tied up between he and the defender that was on Chris Armstrong, and we'll see what the call will be.
Offensive pass interference declined by the Stampeders. So that's what it is. 2nd and 10 for Edmonton from the 50.
We'll come right back. Sandusky just at the bottom of your screen. You see how he puts the hip check on number 19, Carl Anthony, and there's where the play was called and the flag was thrown.
Sandusky and Armstrong wide to the right. Gizmo Williams wide left. The bottom of your screen. Ham eludes the first tackle. Touchdown, Ellis!
for the Edmonton Eskimos.
What a great thing for young football players to notice the way Craig Ellis put his hand up in the air indicating, I'm open. Tracy Ham saw that, and bingo. Dean Dorsey is good with the point after, and the Eskimos lead Calgary 24-8. Edmonton kicking off following the touchdown. Smith at the 30 looking for running room on the left side. He fumbles, and it looks as if the Eskimos have recovered. A 57-yard kickoff, a 16-yard return, a fumble, and Marco Sinkar is there to jump on the loose ball for the Eskimos. Everything going Edmonton's way.
Running in on all three phases of the game right now. Offensively, Tracy Ham is doing well. Defensively, Danny Bass is handling it well. And now on the specialty teams, Willie Pless does a great job of turning it back in and stripping the ball. And there's number 27, Marco Sinkar, the veteran of the Edmonton Eskimos. 11 years as the Eskimos, 12 years in the CFL, being the guy on the spot. He's really happy to be here. This guy has a tremendous amount of playoff experience.
So once again, Tracy Ham and the offense have excellent field position, 1st and 10 from the 35. They swing it out to Marshall, and Marshall dropped for a loss of about 2 or 3 yards by Tucker, who read that play well.
Tucker does a great job on the weak side there. It's just a flare pad. Tracy's reading zone defense all the way, but they've rolled the corner up tight, and there he comes in and makes a real tough hit on Blake Marshall.
First 5 possessions for the Eskimos. They have done the job. 3 touchdowns, 1 field goal, and 1 turnover. 2nd and 15 now for Edmonton. Out of the shotgun for Tracy Ham. Gets it away over the head of Craig Ellis. He was wide open. There was nobody within 10 yards of Craig Ellis. Just a poor throw by Tracy Ham. But in fairness to the Edmonton quarterback, he was under pressure.
Had some heat on him at times. Craig Ellis knows best. He's a veteran. He's been around the league for a long time. He knows that once his quarterback is in trouble, find the open spot. And there he is. He is wide open with no Calgary defender around him other than Brandon, the outside linebacker. And Tracy just was unable to get the ball to him.
I think Tracy would like to have that one back.
Little different situation. We haven't seen the Edmonton Eskimos in the shotgun, and Tracy Ham in that position very much this year.
First punt of the football game for Glenn Harper. He'll get this one away from the Calgary 50-yard line. High snap, but handled nicely by Harper. And Pee Wee Smith takes it in the end zone, where he will wisely concede the single point. So the Edmonton Eskimos increase their lead, make it 26-8 over the Stampeders. Remember, against the BC Lions, Calgary trailed by 16 at the half, caught fire in the 3rd and 4th quarter, and went on to beat the Lions and advance to the Western Final.
Stephen, you can guarantee that once Rich Stuber comes in and gets that defensive team of the Edmonton Eskimos on that sideline, he's letting them know exactly that. This team has been behind last week, and you saw how they come back. We have got them down. We have to keep them down right now for the next, well, 30 minutes and 7 minutes to this half.
1st and 10, Stampeders from their own 35. With time. Penalty goes down. It's complete to Bland at the 50-yard line, but we'll have to wait and see what the penalty is.
Some players.
There is no infraction on the play. I think Ken Lazaroff may have thought that there were too many men on the field in Winnipeg, and we'll be there to have all the action for you on CBC. Barrett with pressure, and he's dropped. Again, the Eskimos defense led by Leroy Blue doing the job against the Calgary offense.
Danny Bass coming up the middle along with Benny Good, but Keith Van Ginken does a good job of getting up square with Danny Bass and pushing him around Danny Barrett, but then Leroy Blue has great pursuit from his outside linebacker position to make that play.
A loss of 3 on the play, make it 2nd and 13 for the Stampeders. On their own 47. Barrett going long over the middle, looking for Pitts. Incomplete. Shelton was defending on the play, had good position on Alan Pitts. The ball just overthrown by Danny Barrett, looking for his favorite target, Alan Pitts.
Pitts is one-on-one against Shelton. Danny Barrett has exactly the call he wants. Trips to the wide side of the field. Pitts is running well, and the ball is thrown up, but David Shelton is having great coverage and great angle at being able to defend against Alan Pitts.
So Corrick comes in to punt. Remember the last time he tried to punt, a 9-yarder, and then an objectionable call. This one's a good high spiral from Corrick. Williams at the 20. And a flag goes down. That'll be no yards charged against the Calgary Stampeders. Tracy Ham out of the shotgun. They give it to Taylor. Taylor up over the 45-yard line. Cofield there to make the stop for the Stampeders.
Good play then, out of the shotgun, looking deep, and it's the old Statue of Liberty play. Tracy throws the out, fakes the out, hands around to Reggie Taylor, and what he does, he's got Pierre Vercheval making a good block right there on the ground, and then he uses his speed and acceleration to get up through the hole and pick up a big first down.
Not exactly the classic Statue of Liberty. You're supposed to show more of the ball up in the air.
Yeah, but if Tracy held the ball up there, Reggie would never get it. He's not that tall.
1st and 10, Eskimos in the 45. Marshall. And Marshall showing no ill effects of the layoff due to that sore ankle. Brandon makes the tackle for the Stampeders. A gain of 6 yards for the big fullback.
Just power straight ahead fullback action here. Good offense. Blake Marshall showing the power that he does have. He runs very, very strong, and anywhere you hit him up top, you're going to feel like you did just hit a derailed train somewhere.
2nd and 4 now for Edmonton. They lead 25-8. 4:46 till halftime. Again, it's Marshall. And Marshall has the first down. By about a half a yard. Alondra Johnson doing his best to pull down the big fullback.
Marshall felt that little hit by Darryl Hall right at the last, but he comes off the left side behind Blake Dermott and Pierre Vercheval, and that last little hit by Darryl Hall got Blake Marshall right in the back of the ribs.
And Marshall comes off the field.
It'll take a lot more than that. It'll take a lot more than that to keep that guy off the field.
1st and 10, Edmonton on the 54-yard line of Calgary. Tracy Ham fakes, puts it up. He's looking for
Tracy Ham pass intended for Jordan Garrett goes incomplete. Junior Thurman covers the Stampeders.
Good pressure from Matt Finley that time on Tracy Ham.
Matt Finley blitzing from his outside right side linebacker position. Tracy faking the counter play inside to Reggie Taylor and trying to get a matchup of one-on-one with Jordan Gartner and Junior Thurman on the outside. He had the matchup, but Matt Finley was right in Tracy's face, so he couldn't throw the ball.
2nd and 10, Eskimos from the Calgary 54. On the shot. Ham looking long. He's got 2 men open. Sandusky! What a catch! Greg Peterson was there to fall on top of him, but what a great catch from Jim Sandusky.
Absolute Houdini catch here by that time. Tracy lined up in the shotgun formation, came out, he waggled Blake Marshall out to the right-hand side, and Jimmy Sandusky, the Sandman, running out and up, and you show the great concentration that he has. Right here, the ball's coming out, tips it with his right hand, brings it back in, and actually cradles it and catches it all with one hand. Terrific concentration by that experienced receiver there.
A 37-yard gain for Sandusky. Makes it 1st and 10, Edmonton from the 18. Taylor. And Taylor is going nowhere. Cofield leading the charge by the Calgary Stampeders. When we come back, the Eskimos will continue the drive.
We got to get 6.
Here at Commonwealth Stadium, it's been all the Eskimos in the first half. They lead the Stampeders 25-8. Tracy Ham out of the shotgun. 2nd and 9 from the 17. Ham now forced to vacate the pocket and drops. Again, the Stampeders defense led by Kent Warnick does the job. They have to put pressure on Ham, and they did it. But more importantly, they prevented the elusive quarterback from vacating the pocket.
5 receivers out. Marshall then tries to set up to the outside. Good pressure by Stu Laird, and what this is a coverage sack. Great coverage downfield by the Calgary secondary. Forced Tracy out of his pocket, and when he did, there was Kent Warnock, the Warrior, able to pick the tackle on him.
That brings on Dean Dorsey to attempt a field goal from 25 yards, and it's wide. It's wide, not by much. Dorsey can't believe that he missed that one. That was a chip shot for Dorsey from the 25-yard line. Larry Rickman has moved from the booth to the sidelines to be closer to his Calgary Stampeders. One of the new owners in the CFL. Good to have him on board.
Steve, we had a chance to meet him last week in the semifinal down there, and also a Hall of Famer in Deacon Jones. And he brought Deacon Jones back to this game again and said that Deacon had went in and had a pep talk with the Calgary defense, and they were very inspired after the talk. So let's see if it's going to work, because it hasn't worked so far the first half.
Talking to Deacon before the game, he looks like he could play still. Remember the fierce enforcement. From the 6-back, complete to Pitts. The Calgary Stampeders have gone back to the 6-pack offense, and it worked. Barrett to Pitts.
Just unbelievable amount of concentration. Pitts comes off. He has double coverage here. Just to the inside right of your screen, you're going to see Larry Ruck, the outside linebacker, is right there, and Mike Babbs is a safety over top. Danny Barrett laid it out there on the rope.
Again from the 6-back. Barrett in a little bit of early trouble. Elects to keep it himself, and close to the first down, brought down by Larry Ruck of the Eskimos.
This is something that Danny Barrett doesn't really like to do, but he can do it very effectively, and that's run the ball. And in this game here, he's going to have to loosen up that Edmonton secondary just a little bit. Michel Bugeaud, they call him Odie up here. He's like the dog on Garfield.
2nd and inches for the Stampeders. They would love to put some points on the board before this half comes to an end. Barrett with the quarterback sneak picks up the first down. It is 1st and 10 Calgary from the 41-yard line of the Edmonton Eskimos. 1:42 till halftime. Edmonton leading 26-8. Barrett with lots of time. Flag goes down. Complete on the far sidelines to Bland, and he is pushed out of bounds about 3.5 yards short of the first down. Holding against the Calgary Stampeders, and that will nullify that game. 11 for 100, only 3 for 5. Barrett into the turf. He was looking for Sean Beals, and it's incomplete.
Barrett's pass attempt. Sean Beals goes incomplete.
The secondary of Edmonton doing an excellent job.
Beals just looking outside, just a quick out, and then he sets up. He reads that there's a zone there by the Edmonton defense and tries to slows outside. Danny Barrett's having a tough time because he's getting a lot of pressure up front. And as you see, right at the last minute when he tries to throw this ball, he's not really set. He's not really throwing the ball with a full force. And Vinny Goods is coming in just to let him know that he's around the area.
He made him pay for that one. 2nd and 19. Going long, he airs it out left side. Complete to Carl Bland. Bland down inside the 10-yard line. A big strike from Danny Barrett to Carl Bland. A 41-yard gain.
Super effort that time. Good offensive protection up front. Turn back protection here. Danny Barrett steps back and just airs it out. It's a foot-for-foot race right here, and he lays the ball out, and Carl Bland comes up with a great reception. Another angle, you take a little look at it, just over the outside left shoulder of Roy Bennett. Roy had great defensive coverage, but it was just a perfect pitch and catch.
1st and goal to go, Stampeders from the 9. Barrett, again, with lots of time, but nobody's open. Finally, pass is complete, down at the goal line to Pitts, and they ruled that he was brought down shy of the goal line. Leroy Blue unloaded on Danny Barrett as soon as he got that pass away. Again, Barrett is paying for these passes that he's throwing.
Open. He comes from the offside, the left side, but he goes all the way across with Enos Jackson. His hands are waving up. He thinks he's wide open. Danny Barrett catches him at the last minute, but the great thing about that catch was the concentration that Alan Pinch showed in looking the ball all the way in.
Second and goal to go. Stampeders from the 1-yard line. Barrett keeps it himself, and no indication from the officials. Barrett did not break the plane. Now a big third down for the Calgary Stampeders. They trail 26-8, 54 seconds remaining till halftime. Coach, what do? Go for the three, the sure three, or gamble and go for the touchdown? I don't think they've got a choice. They've got to go for the TD.
No one's coming off that Calgary bench. They're going for it right now. This is a crucial play of the second quarter.
Third and goal to go from the 1. They pitch. Keevan Jenkins. He's got room. Touchdown, Calgary. The 1,000+ that have made the trip up from Calgary have reason to celebrate. Keevan Jenkins with the touchdown that makes it 26-14.
Andy McVeigh, the lead fullback, just a toss play there. And what is missing here is any kind of pursuit and containment coming from the Edmonton Eskimo defense off the left side, which allows Keevan Jenkins to run to the flag in the corner. Rickman's got to be fairly happy with that, but he's behind 26-14 at the present time.
McLaughlin puts it through the uprights. The convert is good, and it is 26-15. Favor the Edmonton Eskimos. This is Eddie Thomas. He's at the 30, looking for the hole. He's got one, and he's tripped up, and he goes down at the 45-yard line. Eddie Thomas, so close to going all the way. Wicklum was there to trip him up.
Absolute touchdown-saving tackle by Dan Wicklum. Big opening hit, and Eddie Thomas hit it right with full speed, and he had nothing but McLaughlin, the kicker, to look for. Oh, wide open, nobody's around, no Calgary defenders, and Wicklum comes out of nowhere just to get an arm on Eddie Thomas and bring him down.
The Eskimos first and 10 from their own 45. 30 seconds till halftime. Marshall picks up a couple of yards.
Marshall, the ball carrier.
Warnock in there to make the stop. The sun is setting in the city of Edmonton. Just past 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Not much daylight in Canada's northwest. These cool days of November, but it's a perfect afternoon for football when you consider what we might have expected in Edmonton at this time of year. Second and 8 for the Eskimos on the 47. Just dumps it off to Blake Marshall. And Marshall can't get to the 50-yard line. He had to get to the midfield stripe to move the yard markers and pick up the first down. So again, the Stampeders defense have done their job and stopped Tracy Ham.
Alondra Johnson, middle linebacker, does a great job, because what Tracy calls out of that formation is just a screen pass to Blake Marshall off the left-hand side. He's anticipating that Calgary defense being in a drop zone, and here he is. Alondra Johnson fights off a defender and then comes in and makes a big tackle on Blake Marshall to stop him short of the first down, because he had plenty of blockers up in front of him and could have continued to maybe run out this clock and run out the second quarter.
Remember to stay with us for Live at the Half with Chris Cuthbert. We'll be talking to both coaches, Ron Lancaster and Wally Buono, and we'll have a full report from Scott Oak from the Skydome. 1 second remaining on the scoreboard clock here at Commonwealth Stadium. Tracy Ham takes the snap, drops to his knee, and the half is over. The Edmonton Eskimos head into the dressing room, leading the Calgary Stampeders by a count of 26-15. The only stat that's close through 2 quarters of play here at Commonwealth Stadium, the turnovers. They are tied at 1. Net yards, 265 to 190. Favor the Eskimos. Time of possession, a big gap for the Eskimos. Play selection. Calgary passed the ball 15 times, ran it 8. Look at the distribution there for Edmonton. Mixing the rush with the pass, and I think that's always a key element to a successful offensive game, is when you can combine both. And Tracy Ham and the Eskimos offense did that in the first half. Second half about to get underway in the Western Final here in Edmonton. The Eskimos lead 26 to 15. Dean Dorsey picking up. Evan Jenkins at the 25. Forced down at the 35-yard line. Murphy pulling Evan Jenkins down. Danny Barrett comes onto the field following a 51-yard kick and an 11-yard return. 10 of 15 for Barrett for 170 yards and 1 touchdown. Not a bad performance by the Calgary quarterback.
No, the numbers look really well. The only thing is they're trailing in the points on the board. But he knows that he can put points on the board. The score right before the half really would help to pump up this team as it did when they played in the semifinal.
Remember how explosive Calgary were in the opening minutes of the second half against the BC Lions. First and 10 Calgary. Barrett has some room. Has the first down. And then some yards to spare as he gets up to the 53-yard line. Bennett is there to make the stop. A 17-yard gain for the Stampeders quarterback.
Pass distribution by Calgary here. Very equally between their wideouts and their slots at 47%. Not throwing much to the backs, only because the backs aren't there anymore.
First and 10, Calgary from the 53. Barrett has time, steps up, fires, a strike! Pee-wee Smith down to the 20-yard line, and that was indeed a strike. What a rifle arm Danny Barrett showed us there. A 37-yard gain.
Tremendous gun by Danny Barrett that time. I don't think we have seen him throw as hard a pass all season long. Drops back. Edmonton's in a zone defense, playing very well. Danny Barrett steps up and then follows Pee-wee all the way across. Danny Bass, the middle linebacker, bit just a little bit, didn't keep following and dropping deep.
First and 10 from the 21. That time it's incomplete. He's looking for Alan Pitts. Pitts unable to hang on. Barrett looking to the sidelines. He calls all his own plays for the Calgary offense. Calgary have outscored the Eskimos 34 to 14 in the third quarter in their series this season. The question is, can they do it in the Western Final? Barrett from the shotgun. Stampeders in a 6-pack. Barrett under pressure, gets the pass away. He was looking for Pitts. Pitts was wide on the right side. The pass falls incomplete. Barrett, who has taken some pretty good hits from this Eskimo defense, all good clean hits, is having difficulty getting up. Steve Taylor comes into the game, but to hold for Mark McLaughlin, who was good on 71% of his field goal attempts over the course of the regular season. This one to come from the 29-yard line. And it's good. So the Calgary Stampeders come away with some points, 3 to be exact. The score, 26-18, favor Eskimos.
Welcome back to Commonwealth Stadium. Our thermometer says it's 5 Celsius. I want to check because it is starting to get cold out here. The wind is gusting up to about 15 clicks an hour, but really isn't a factor. And I noticed Danny Barrett's up on his feet. Looks like he's okay at the Calgary bench.
That's good news for Calgary Stampeder fans. The Eskimos have the ball first and 10 from the 35. This is Marshall. A little bit of a hole there. Marshall, 3 yards. Kent Warnick there to make the stop for the Stampeders. A few moments ago, Danny Barrett took a big hit from Goods. Right there.
Goods turns him back in, and then Larry Ruck gets the shot right up in his chest, full force into him, and that's why Danny Barrett was slow getting up. Anybody would be.
2nd and 7 Eskimos. And they're going with their version of the six-pack. And gets the pass away, and a flag goes down. He was looking for Jim Sandusky. They rule incomplete. But I've got a feeling that Errol Tucker could be called for defensive pass interference on Sandusky. He was all over Sandusky. He was taking no chances.
Right to the left of your screen, Errol Tucker comes over top. The pass interference doesn't occur until he puts his left hand around Jim Sandusky first and then comes over his shoulder, and that creates a big first down situation for the Edmonton Eskimos.
1st and 10 Eskimos from their own 45. They lead 26-18. With time, goes over the top looking for Armstrong, and it's incomplete. Armstrong took a late shot from Peterson after the ball had dropped to the ground, but no flags down.
It'll be 2nd and 10, Eskimos, ball on the 40.
I guess that was a wake-up call from Peterson to Armstrong. An indication, I'm here, I'm watching you.
He's still got to be remembering the last time when Armstrong ran by him with the touchdown. The pass distribution for the Edmonton Eskimos, you can see 28% to the wideouts, 36 to the slot, and 36 to the back. That puts a lot of strain on the defense to be disciplined at looking at everybody.
The six-pack again for the Eskimos. Ham under a lot of pressure. And a flag after the ball had been thrown. Will Johnson was all over him.
Flag on the play.
And Tracy Ham is penalized for grounding the ball. There was nobody in the vicinity of the pass, and the officials pick up on that and call it against Tracy Ham.
Grounding, Edmonton number 8, 3rd down.
That was indeed the call. So that'll bring on the punting unit for the Edmonton Eskimos. And Harper has not been a busy punter this afternoon.
24 Eskimos.
Averaging 38 yards a punt over the course of the regular season. It's only his 2nd punt of the day.
We talked earlier about how Jerry Corrick of the Calgary Stampeders has the green light to run if he sees anything. But I don't think that this thing goes to have any kind of red light like that in Harper.
This is Tucker at the 40-yard line. Trying to get his footing, reverses his field, and he's brought down at the 35-yard line on a good open field tackle by Mike McLean. Chris?
Steve, here's Don Matthews, head coach of Saskatchewan. In '89, he was the defensive coach with the Eskimos. Coach, your thoughts on the first half?
Boy, this is a wide-open football game, and Calgary seems to be recapturing that momentum. The Eskimos are going to have to do something to shut them down.
Now, last year in Toronto, your thoughts on the Argos, convincing winners today?
Well, boy, the Argos are really playing super football. When Matt Dunnigan's in the game, it makes all the difference in the world. Let's hope that he's healthy next week so it can be a great pick.
Don, thanks very much.
Okay.
Danny Barrett indicating where he wants his receivers to go. Passes through the middle, in and out of the arms of Sean Beals. He had a piece of the ball, but he couldn't hang on. It was a little high. But Barrett did well to get out of the grasp of the Eskimos.
Once he breaks containment, he's looking downfield, and there's Benny Goods again with Willie Pless coming in over top. And this is one of the reasons why Danny Barrett is not having such good success, is that he's getting tremendous pressure right before he throws the ball.
2nd and 10 for the Stampeders from their own 35. Barrett looking for Sapunjas, incomplete. Again, good pressure from the Eskimos front four.
Right up the middle, Michel Bourgeot did a great job at defeating the block. Doug Davies, the offensive center, and getting up there, and not that from this point now that Danny Barrett gets hit, but he's been around and he's been hit so many times that he has that sixth sense that he knows when it's coming and he can feel the pressure, and he's trying to get rid of the ball a little quicker than he normally would like to.
Corrick, the former Eskimo, on to punt for the Stampeders. He's going to run it, and then he kicked it at the last second. This is Gizmo. Had 2 punt returns in an earlier game this season against the Eskimos, but that time he goes nowhere. Welcome Welcome back to Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton and the Western Final. A few moments ago, the last time the Edmonton Eskimos had possession of the ball, Tracy Ham took a hit from Will Johnson, went down on his right shoulder, and he's since been favoring that shoulder on the bench. He is in the ball game. The Eskimos are 1st and 10. They give to Marshall. Marshall doesn't need much of a hole. He doesn't get one and does the rest himself before Matt Finley is there to pull him down.
Matt Finley got this ready.
A gain of 7 on the play for Blake Marshall, the big fullback.
What a great shot there. I'd hate to be the guy the cameraman had to climb up there and put that one on for us, Steve.
He is still there and is doing an excellent job, 130 feet above the surface here at Commonwealth Stadium. Make it 2nd and 2 or 3. Blake Marshall again, and he was stopped cold by the Calgary Stampeders, and his second effort moves the yardsticks.
It is 3 and 1st down for the Eskimos.
Just a hit to hand off inside, very simple. Randy Ambrosi, the right guard, pulling and filling up in the hole. Zezakovic was the guy that hit him quickly, but you can see the power of Blake Marshall keeping those legs turning and picking up the big 1st down.
1st and 10 Edmonton from their own 53. 8:56 to play, 3rd quarter. Marshall again, and Marshall down inside the 50-yard line. The workhorse is doing the job. That time it was Cofield in to make the stop for Calgary. Edmonton lead 26-18. 8:33 to play now. 3rd quarter.
2nd and 3 Eskimos, ball to 49.
You have to wonder how many times the Calgary Stampeders defense can rise to the occasion. There you see the battle of the rushers favor Edmonton. Ham, pressure early. Firing long. It's deflected and drops incomplete. Carl Anthony got a piece of it. The gizmo, Henry Williams, was the intended receiver.
Terrific play that time. For some reason, the Edmonton Eskimos and Tracy Ham feel that they could go long against Junior Thurman. You got number 77, and that's Chris Armstrong. He's wide open, and what you have is 2 guys from the wideouts coming on the post, so they're bringing all the defenders in together. And here is a chance where Carl Anthony comes up and makes a big play right at the last minute because Gizmo was about 8 yards ahead of Junior Thurman.
May have been a mix-up in the routes there between the Henry Gizmo, and Chris Armstrong. They fake it. Marshall! Make that Michael Souls down to the 20-yard line. They fake the punt, and the gamble pays off. Michael Souls taking the direct snap and finding a big hole and going 29 yards.
Terrific shot here. You can see Danny Bass is the lead blocker. Leads right up. All of the defenders are up in the line of scrimmage. The first 2 guys to come into your view are Pee Wee Smith and Carl Bland, and they're the return guys. A big 29-yard pickup. Continues to drive for the Edmonton Eskimos and keeps the motivation on the EE side.
Souls is the backup to Blake Marshall. That time he got a chance to shine, and he came through. 1st and 10 Edmonton from the Calgary 21. Fake to Marshall that time. Complete to Taylor inside the 5. The linebacker Finley was trying to cover the halfback on the play, and it didn't work.
This is what happened. They set this play up a couple of times earlier, leading Reggie Taylor and allowing Blake Marshall to run behind it. This time they fake the lead here, and then Reggie Taylor just continues out into the pattern to the flat and turns it up at the sideline, and Tracy Ham throws it right on the money.
Now it's goal to go, Eskimos. From the 3. Sandusky in motion. They get the Wally touchdown!
force it back inside, and Alondro Johnson, the middle linebacker, was just too late getting there, and Brian Walling is able to get it in for a major score of the Edmonton Eskimos.
And Dean Dorsey gets set for the point after. It is good. So the Edmonton Eskimos now lead the Calgary Stampeders by a count of 33-18. With that last touchdown, the Edmonton Eskimos have moved into first place in the all-time playoff scoring derby with 1,400 points. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers next with 1,398. Keevan Jenkins at the 25. Still on his feet, tripped up at the 40-yard line by Michael Souls, whose fake punt enabled them to get to the end zone.
Let's take a look at this touchdown play. So we got the guards pulling right here. Both of them are going to pull out. A lead block by Blake, and then the counter play for the touchdown. Take a good look at this, and Brian Walling steps up, counters back across, and then he gets a good lead, and you can see Alondro Johnson just at the bottom of your screen is too late getting there. Touchdown.
Brian Walling and Michael Souls have done the job.
Good
in
shot.
The backup role.
Good shot of Blake Marshall right there, one-on-one against Alondro Johnson. That's all-star against all-star. That's MVP against MVP.
Well, Danny Barrett is out of the game for the Calgary Stampeders, and Steve Taylor is in. Completed 54% of his passes over the course of the regular season, 7 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Those are the stats for Steve Taylor. Through 1991, did not play in the semifinal victory over the Lions. The six-back again for Calgary. Taylor still on his feet, just about brought down and very close to the first down. David Shelton there to make the tackle for the Eskimos.
Adds a whole different dimension right now to the Calgary offense because of Steve Taylor's versatility. He is really able to run this ball as he did at Nebraska and as he has done in the past. And what that does, it puts a lot of strain on discipline on the defensive secondary of the Edmonton Eskimos to make him cross the line of scrimmage before they release their men and come up to try to make a play on him.
Barrett leads the game with over 200 yards passing. Stampeders need a yard. They give to Keevan, and I don't believe he's got it. Danny Bass read that perfectly, saw Keevan, the first man out of the backfield, and he was able to stop him shy of the first down.
Danny Bass and Michel Bugeaud up front getting great penetration up front. Right here, Michel is filling the gap, and Danny Bass is blitzing on the snap and is able to get into the secondary, hit Keevan, and stop him short. It's 3rd and inches.
Stampeders really have no choice. They have to go for it. They trail 33-18. Taylor goes to the right side. The flags go down. I believe that's going to be offside against the Eskimos.
A penalty on this play.
Side, Edmonton number 58, first down Calgary.
There's the call from referee Ken Lazarick. Does not make Ronnie Lancaster very happy as we look at it again.
Just right in the middle of the screen, we can't make out the number right there. Could have been Michel Bugeaud in there just getting a jump on the snap.
1st and 10 steps. Taylor, incomplete. He was looking for Andy McVeigh. Benny Goods applying good pressure to Steve Taylor that time.
Steve, I was part of the 1981 Grey Cup. When we had this same situation, we were behind against Ottawa, and Warren Moon was having a tough day. They took him out for a number of series of plays, put in Tom Wilkinson, and then Warren went back in. Maybe, hopefully, that's what the Calgary Stampeders are doing, allowing Steve Taylor to come in and Danny Barrett to look at it from the sideline without being chased around.
2nd and 10 Calgary. Taylor sprinting left. Under pressure. Intercepted. David Shelton coming up with the interception. Tremendous pressure from the front 3 of the Edmonton Eskimos, led by Willie Pless. What a job he did in coming in from his linebacker position.
Willie Pless, the Terminator, over here. Comes in. Steve Taylor's looking to the wide side of the field. Has plenty of time. He's got to sit down and throw to Alan Pitts right there. But he holds the ball a little too long. And Willie Pless comes from the backside and levels Steve Taylor. Willie Pless clean. He's got a shot. He's got the 0 and the sight set on him. And when he does, he hits him.
Taylor had to feel that pressure. 1st and 10 Eskimos from the 31. Marshall. Back to the original line of scrimmage where he's met by Alondra Johnson and Zizikovich. What's going through that man's mind now? Remember, in the semifinal, his team exploded in the 3rd quarter to bury the BC Lions. Warren Jones may be coming on in relief of Tracy Ham for the Eskimos at quarterback. 2nd and 10. He's going long, looking for Gizmo. Gizmo turned the wrong way. It was overthrown, but I think Giz turned the wrong way. He thought it was coming one side and the ball was going the other.
Over the course of the season, Tracy and Giz has had some problems with communication. Sometimes Giz breaks off the pattern. This time he goes to the post and looks like he's going straight down the seam. Tracy thought he was going to go to the out, release outside on a streak pattern and go down the sideline. Had probably Giz ran the pattern that Tracy thought he was, or Tracy thrown the pattern that Giz was going to run, that was an easy 6 points.
Whatever, it brings on a punting situation for the Edmonton Eskimos. Glenn Harper will get this punt away from his own 20. Tries to thread his way down the sidelines, gets to the 39-yard line. Willie Pless pushes him out of play, but a flag goes down.
Legal block, Calgary number 34, 1st down Calgary.
Andy McVeigh guilty of the illegal block. Chris, what have you got for us?
Well, Steve, Danny Barrett is warming up on the sidelines again. He won't disclose an injury, although I understand he was badly winded. He's been going to the smelling salts, but I think he's coming back in quite soon. Steve Taylor's still in.
And Chris, it looks like Warren Jones is going to be in at some time for the Edmonton Eskimos. The 6-back for Taylor. Quick pass, incomplete. He was looking for Simeon on the right side. Simeon got his hands on the ball, but he couldn't hang on. That was a bullet from Steve Taylor.
Steve Taylor's got a rocket for an arm, this time hoping to catch the Edmonton defense in a zone coverage. He throws the hitch screen out to Simeon, but it's not. It's a man coverage, and when he came up there, that was number 19, David Shelton, that laid the lick on him and put him down.
In the past 13 years, the Stamps have lost 3 Western Finals and 2 semifinals to Edmonton. Right now, they're trailing 33-18. Third quarter, 2nd and 10. Pass over the middle of Pitts, it's complete. Pitts with a good effort after he takes the ball, but he was unable to get to the 1st down markers and keep the drive alive.
Good shot of Pitts here. This time, actually, he gave up some ground right at the last three or four steps, and he lost some yardage, which could have been the 1st down. Makes the catch, works back inside, trying to pick up more yardage, but right here is where the pursuit of the Edmonton defense closed in on him and shut him down before he was able to get the 1st down.
Jerry Corrick, we never know what he's going to do. Remember, earlier, he faked the punt and then was forced to kick it at the line of scrimmage. This time, no hesitation. Good high spiral. The Giz at the 30. He returned 2 punts for touchdowns in a game earlier against Calgary this season. But that time, Sapunjas was downfield in a hurry. And the Giz is restricted to a gain of about 5 yards, a 44-yard punt and a 5-yard return. They did. 1st and 10 for the Eskimos. Hand still at quarterback. To the sidelines for the Giz, and the Giz unable to hang on. I don't think it would have mattered if he was out of play when the ball hit him in the shoulder pads.
Warren Jones comes back, guys, comes right into your TV screen here. The Giz goes up, makes a catch on it, but the ball slides right through his hands and hits him off the pads. Doesn't look the ball all the way in.
That was Jones at quarterback and not Tracy Ham. 6 looks like an 8 from up here, but that is indeed Warren Jones wearing number 6. So Ham is out. Jones is in. Under pressure early. Matt Finley with the sack for the Stampeders.
Matt Finley is having a terrific game for the Calgary defense. Had one in the semifinal. It's very important right now that this Calgary defense is able to try to make something happen on the field, come up with a big turnover. He's not blocked, and he comes up and he's showing the good speed that he has because Warren Jones is a quick, agile quarterback. He's able to get some cloth on him and bring him down to the ground. Puts Edmonton in some pretty tough field position right now.
Second sack of the game for Matt Finley. And that brings on Glenn Harper to punt. Remember the last time they faked the punt, direct snap to Souls, who picked up the big first down and led to an Edmonton touchdown. Don't think they'll do it this deep in their own half. Smith. Looking for running room. Still on his feet. There's a hole. And a good job by Smith, brought down by Souls.
Smith with a 17-yard.
Stampeders have the ball. They trail 33-18. 21 seconds remaining to play third quarter. They're first and 10 from the 39 of the Eskimos. Barrett back in the quarterback. Complete to Sean Beal.
Danny Barrett back in at quarterback. Fires a start to Sean Beal.
Great quick throw that time by Danny Barrett to Sean Beal. He reads the rush coming from the outside on the right-hand side. I think it's Willie Pless that comes in. Leo Blanchard comes in. Willie tries to go up over top Leo. Still gets into Danny Barrett's face. Forces him to throw the pass. It only picks up about 4 yards.
Long way to go for the first down. Out of the six-pack. Barrett complete to Pee Wee Smith. He has the first down. And he's inside the 20. Bennett tripped him up. Otherwise, Smith was gone, and there goes the gun to end 3 quarters of play. Edmonton leading 33-18.
Working this year for the Glen Roll Freehand line.
The skyline of Edmonton, looking back from Commonwealth Stadium towards the city. Inside Commonwealth Stadium, the Calgary Stampeders have the ball. They are first and 10 from the 18-yard line of the Eskimos. Barrett just lays it out there, looking for Keevan Jenkins. Incomplete. A flag goes down, and it could be pass interference on Ruck.
Forward pass interference. Edmonton number 47. First down Calgary on the 1-yard line.
And what he does, he comes out, he puts Keevan Jenkins in the slot on the weak side. He gets exactly the call he wants. Man-to-man coverage, which matches Keevan against Larry Ruck. They feel that's a mismatch. Keevan's got him beat in the end zone. Larry Ruck just runs into Keevan. Good call by the referee.
Now it's first and goal to go for the Stampeders. From the 1, Barrett keeps himself. And touchdown, Calgary! They only have about 1,000 fans here, but they sound like 10,000. The noise they've been making all afternoon to cheer on their Stampeders. They made the 3-hour trek north. And right now, they're glad they did.
Good replay here, coming off the right side behind Leo Blanchard. Lloyd Fairbanks, he gets up a little high and allows some of those defensive players of the Edmonton Eskimos to get a shot at him, but his momentum is enough to get him across and score a major.
And the convert is good from Mark McLaughlin. We still have ourselves a ball game. 33-25 favor the Eskimos, but lots of time, and I repeat, lots of time remaining to play. 14 minutes and 25 seconds in the fourth quarter. McLaughlin getting set to kick off following the Stampeder touchdown. The Giz and Craig Ellis deep to receive. This will be Ellis inside his own 10. Does a good job, finds a couple of holes, and gets out to the 35-yard line. Chris Cuthbert, come in.
Steve, the the Stamps bench celebrating that touchdown, but they've lost one. Brandon probably for the rest of the game. Strained knee ligaments. He's had an injury in that knee this year, was wearing a brace. And remember, they have another linebacker, Matt Finley, wearing a knee brace as well. So the linebacking core is getting thin.
And the people who make knee braces are doing a land-office business with the Calgary Stampeders.
And that'll put Dan Wicklum in at the outside linebacker in place of Brandon.
First and 10 for the Eskimos from the 35. Jones, the quarterback. Reggie Taylor fumbles, and Reggie Taylor recovers. Good bounce there for the Eskimos. It bounced right back into the arms of Reggie Taylor after taking the handoff.
Warren's trying to set this up again. It's that Statue of Liberty play, and he tries to fake the out pattern, and then he dumps it into Reggie Taylor's hands. He just doesn't look the ball in. But the one thing that he did not do beforehand is run a couple of plays of setting this play up where it would make it much more effective, because there is a swarm of Calgary defenders around him.
Make it about 2nd and 14 for the Eskimos from their own 31. Jones with time. In and out of the arms of Blake Marshall. Alondra Johnson covering on the play. And once again, the Stampeders defense has risen to the occasion.
2nd and 14, Calgary's very contented, play into a deep zone there, set back at about 10 yards, force them to throw the ball short, and then react up as Alondra Johnson did against Blake Marshall.
A punting situation for Edmonton. 3rd and 14. Harper will get the punt away from his own 20. Bland and Pee Wee Smith standing at their own 40. 13:06 to play. Edmonton lead 33-25.
Harper has
stake a berth in the Grey Cup on Sunday in Winnipeg. Bland. And he is dropped after a gain of 2 yards. So when we come back, the Calgary Stampeders will have the ball. First 2 quarters were the key for the Edmonton Eskimos in building up their lead. Calgary had the ball. Barrett fakes. Now he's going through the middle. Complete. Sapunjas. And he's down at the 35-yard line. Larry Ruck was downfield covering Sapunjas. A 36-yard gain for the Calgary Stampeders.
Barrett does a great job, steps away from the ball, fakes the quick hitch to Alan Pitts to the outside, sets up, has enough time to find Sapunjas wide open over the middle. Sapunjas does a great job of cuddling the ball inside and bringing it in for a big gain.
First and 10 for Calgary from the Edmonton 35, from the 6-pack again, this time complete to Pitts. Pitts down to the 25, and that's close to moving the yard markers.
Great read. The big thing that the Calgary obviously the offense has with Danny Barrett in there. He reads his blitz. Pitts comes up. The safety Babs comes up to make the tackle, misses the tackle, and allows Pitts to pick up what they're measuring now could be another first down.
It's close enough that they want to take a look at it with the chains. 11:40 to play. Edmonton on top, 33-25, but the Stampeders, just like they did against the BC Lions, are scratching back. First and 10 for the Stamps from the 25. Quick pass, Barrett, and it's complete. On the far side, a gain of about 5 yards. Simeon, the receiver that time in this very versatile offense of the Stampeders.
This is Simeon, the young wide receiver that they brought up for this semifinal game, has done a great job for him. He's caught about 4 or 5 passes between the semi and in that game. Loses his footing, comes up, and was able to still concentrate and look the ball in.
2nd and 5, Stamps from the 20. Barrett, quick pass from the middle and complete. He was looking for Pitts. And that time, Pitts managed to get a hand on it, but couldn't hang on.
All-out blitz by the Edmonton Eskimos that time. It left Pitts being the third man on the left-hand side, the short side. The safety of the Edmonton Eskimos has to come over to make the coverage on that. Babs does a good job.
Chris?
Well, we suspected Tracy Hammond injured his shoulder, but they now put a flak jacket on, perhaps suggesting it's a rib problem. The Eskimos aren't saying anything to us about the severity of the injury, but Ron Lancaster just asked him if he's ready to go.
And the Calgary Stampeders are going to come away from 3 points from this drive. Another field goal from Mark McLaughlin, and it narrows the gap even closer. 3:28 to score. The Eskimos have the ball, 1st and 10. And Tracy Ham is back in at quarterback. And they'll start from the 35-yard line. Ham with time. Finds his receiver Armstrong at the 1st down marker on the far side. Anthony was covering on the play.
They make some great changes here with moving Armstrong inside from his normal wideout position, putting it'd be Jordan Gardner as the wideout. This time he grunts him and matches him up against Carl Anthony on a trade-out pattern, and Tracy's showing no ill effects of any kind of rib injury as he delivered that ball on the money.
After a very quick start, Ham has just hit the 200-yard mark in passing. 1st and 10 Eskimos from the 45. They give to Marshall. A flag is down. Early indication is offside against the Stampeders.
Offside. Calgary number 93. 1st down and Peter.
Kent Warnick. Guilty of moving before the snap of the ball. 1st and 5 Eskimos from the 50. Marshall. Just shy of picking up the 1st down. He has been the workhorse for the Edmonton Eskimos and their running attack so far this afternoon.
Blake Marshall, the kind of fullback, the kind of football player that could play on any team, anywhere, and for any coach. Gives you 200% every time he gets on the field. Just a great addition and a compliment to any ball club.
42-3 was the count at Sky Dome. The Argos are in the Grey Cup. Will they meet the Eskimos or the Stampeders? We'll know in the next 20 minutes. Marshall. And he is not going to get the 1st down. Cofield and Will Johnson in there to make the stop. And Johnson does a little celebration. As well he might.
Will Johnson and Tim Cofield. Very simple, just an inside little counter play here, and you see great penetration that time. Getting upfield is Tim Cofield able to shut that down and force Edmonton Eskimos into a punting situation.
The wind has picked up considerably here at Commonwealth Stadium. And right now, Glenn Harper will be punting into that wind. So it will favor Danny Barrett and the Stampeders offense for the remainder of the game.
Calgary return unit has 11 men up on the line of scrimmage, a single return guy.
Pee Wee Smith, the lone returner. Smith at the 25. And forced out of play at the 31-yard line by Larry Ruck. A 32-yard punt and a 6-yard return for Pee Wee Smith. And again, the Calgary contingent isn't very large, but they have been very vocal.
Glenn Harper has done a great job today, not kicking the ball that deep, but what he has been angling toward the sideline and cutting down the width of the field and allowed that coverage team to get down and really corral somebody or one of the punt return guys before he could get moving upfield.
1st and 10 Calgary from their own 31. 8:09 to play, 4th quarter. Pitts. What a great effort by Pitts to pick up 8 yards on the play. Well, we've seen some great performances here at Commonwealth Stadium this afternoon. This man put on a number of shows both at Clark and Commonwealth Stadium. Dan Kepley on the Wall of Fame. 10 years with the Eskimos. 6 Grey Cup rings to his credit. And 3 times the outstanding defensive player in the CFL. That time Eskimos defense does their job. It was Barrett looking for Pitts, incomplete. And Wally Guano is certainly not going to take any chances.
Comes back to Pitts. He's just running a very simple out pattern. Larry Ruck, the linebacker's inside there. The ball stone's just past his outstretched hands a bit. What Edmonton is doing now, because Calgary's had some success at dumping that ball off quickly to Alan Pitts, they've walked out the outside linebacker, Larry Ruck, and getting in the throwing lane.
Remember, the Giz right capable of punt return, but Corrick drops it, gets the punt away. Taken by Sandusky, and he is dropped at the 50-yard line. A flag goes down for no yards. When we come back, the Eskimos will have the ball.
Ball comes back, great snap, just goes right through Jerry's hands. He's able to shows the athletic ability enough to be able to pick it up and kick it away. Those are the kind of plays right there that make some players lose control of bodily functions, I can tell you.
The Eskimos have the ball 1st and 10 from the Stampeders 45-yard line. 7:06 to play, 4th quarter. Marshall. Bit of a hole, and that's all he needs, and he does the rest himself. Picks up 5 yards. Will Johnson making the tackle.
Marshall just coming off the left side here. Very easy play, but right at the bottom of your screen, Reggie Taylor is the guy that gets a great block on Matt Finley, the outside linebacker. Matt does his job by turning Blake Marshall back inside to Will Johnson, who comes over with some great pursuit.
2nd and 5 for Edmonton. With time, and a wide open Jordan Gartner, and Gartner has the 1st down inside the 30-yard line. Junior Thurman was covering on the play, but he couldn't stop Jordan Gartner from coming up with a catch.
Haven't heard out from him all day long, but all of a sudden Tracy goes to him when he needs him. Sprints out, looking to the front side, but he's trying to come back to the post corner to Craig Ellis. Craig's being double coverage, and Gartner's standing just off on the side in the out. He dumps it off to him and comes up with a big catch.
1st and 10 for the Eskimos. Marshall a couple of yards.
Blake Marshall. 4 yards.
Wally Guano saw his team host the Western Final against the Eskimos last year and lose it 43-23. He was really hoping for a big turnaround this year against the Eskimos. Lots of time to play. 5:21. Edmonton lead 33-28, but the Eskimos have the ball. 2nd and 6 from the Stampeders 24. Ham puts it up. Almost picked off. He was looking for Craig Ellis, and a flag goes down.
Edmonton number 33, decline.
That time against Craig Ellis. In the game we're referring to, it was Ellis who was interfered with, but this time he does the interfering right there.
Right there, you can see, right as he got his hand up, what Craig Ellis did, he became from an offensive player to a defensive player. It was for sure interception by Greg Peterson, the safety, as Tracy Ham threw it up into double coverage, and this time he just got interference and cost it the play.
So that brings on Dean Dorsey to attempt a field goal from 31 yards out. And Dorsey is good.
Big 3 points by Dean Dorsey there.
Edmonton will kick off from their own 35 following that field goal from Dean Dorsey that makes it an 8-point lead for Edmonton. Devan Jenkins at the 30. Looking for running room on the outside. And he goes out of play at about the 42-43-yard line. A 50-yard kick and a 17-yard return. And once again, Danny Barrett and the Calgary offense will have good field position.
That last field goal is going to obviously create 2 possessions by the Calgary Stampeders and scoring on both those possessions. Danny Barrett knows he's got to come out and make something happen very, very quickly in case the defense of the Edmonton Eskimos stymies them and takes any time.
They're in their 6-back. 1st and 10. Barrett firing, and it's complete to Carl Bland. He has the first down by about a half a yard to spare. It is now starting to rain in Edmonton. The umbrellas are out. We can be fortunate perhaps that it's not snow at this time of year. From the 6-back again, this time it's blocked by the Eskimos. They had their arms up. Larry Ruck leading the way, and the ball was deflected.
Calgary going with a hurry-up offense. Larry Ruck and Danny Bass coming off the weak side, and as Larry got in the vision of Danny Barrett, was able to see when he started to throw it, got his hands up and tipped that ball very well.
Almost 300 yards for the Stampeder quarterback. Another good afternoon. Outstanding against BC last weekend. Strong again against the Eskimos. From the shotgun. 6 receivers. 3 to either side. 2nd and 10. Barrett. Complete. Very close to the first down. Carl Bland comes up with the catch for the Stampeders in an effort to keep this drive alive.
Barrett to Carl Bland. Close to a 10-yard.
Danny obviously wanted to buy some time, gets in the shotgun, sprints out to the right-hand side, looking for Pee Wee Smith and trying to get to the out. Stop. He's able to come back into the middle, into the soft part of the cushion and the zone, and able to hit a big receiver, and all of a sudden they're going to measure for the first down.
Key measurement this will be. I'm sure they'll go for it. If they haven't got it, it's only inches, and they have got it. So it's 1st and 10 for the Stampeders. From the 6-back again. And that time, Barrett was forced to get the ball away before he wanted to, before anybody really came open.
The toaster, Brent Williams was in there. Also, Benny Goods was there. As Danny's trying to get the ball and release it, Brent Williams is in his face and just disturbing him somewhat.
Notice how the front 3 of the Edmonton Eskimos are going in with their arms up again from the 6-back. 2nd and 10, Calgary. Barrett. Incomplete. He was looking for Pitts. Pitts slipped. Couldn't get back to the ball. Couldn't come up with a catch. And that may have killed the drive for Calgary. The rain is coming down here at Commonwealth Stadium as Mark McLaughlin will attempt a 54-yard field goal for the Calgary Stampeders. Remember, they trail 36-28. 3 minutes remaining to play. 4th quarter. It's certainly long enough, and it's on target. Mark McLaughlin has just put through a 54-yarder. His longest this season was 52.
What a powerful kick by Mark McLaughlin. He still had another 10 yards distance on that kick. That is a big, Steve, big 3 points for the Calgary Stampeders.
The wind is continuing to pick up a bit here at Commonwealth Stadium. Tracy Ham and the Eskimos offense are passing into the wind. 2:55 to play, 4th quarter. They get to Marshall. Finley in to make the stop on Marshall. Can the Edmonton Eskimos do what the Calgary Stampeders did to the BC Lions a week ago in the Western semifinal and run off the clock with an effective running game? What has this man got planned for the next 2 minutes and 45 seconds with his offense? Second and 7. Make it 6.5. Ham under pressure. He's got the first down. But again, he is favoring his side. You could see him go down on the turf, and you knew that he was hurt the moment he hit the turf, but he's not going out of the ball game.
coverage downfield. Calgary's in a zone defense, and they have Alondro Johnson, the middle linebacker, as kind of a spy against Tracy Ham when he breaks that containment. And Alondro just gave him too much cushion and allowed him to pick up the first down.
Clock is running. 2:10 to play, fourth quarter. First and 10 Eskimos. Reggie Taylor. Bit of a hole. Couple of yards. No more. Stu Laird there to make the stop for the Stampeders. Calgary haven't won a playoff game in Edmonton in 21 years. Haven't won a game of any sort in Edmonton in 11. That is the Eskimos on top, 36-31. 1:49 to play. Second and 8. And in and out of the arms of the intended receiver, but tremendous pressure from Hall as Ham tried to find Chris Armstrong, and Armstrong couldn't hang on him. Look at Tracy Ham now. No disguising the fact that he is hurt on the right side. Is it the arm? Is it the shoulder? Is it the ribs?
Tracy's lining up. He's looking at Armstrong on the front side. Daryl Hall comes from the backside as the halfback. Nobody blocked him. He had a clean shot at Tracy, and Tracy paid the price for that.
So that sets up another punting situation for the Eskimos as Ham goes to the bench. If ever Edmonton needed a big punt from Glenn Harper, it would be now. Get a good one. Bland at the 30, and he gets the 31 and no further. Dermott downfield to make the stop for the Eskimos.
Good punt again by Harper as far as angling it toward the sideline, cutting down the pursuit angles that the Edmonton coverage team has to get down there. And Blake Dermott did a great job from his offensive tackle position of getting down and making the tackle.
Will this be a last gasp for the Stampeders in 1991? They trail by 5. 1:29 to play. The six-pack offense. 3 receivers left, 3 right. Barrett with time. Now forced to sprint. Under pressure. Goods had him. Barrett gets the first down. What a tremendous effort from Danny Barrett. He was lined up for clean shots by 2 Eskimos. Willie Bless finally brought down Danny Barrett.
Unbelievably good effort that time by Danny Barrett. But the other thing is, it's some very poor tackling by the defense of the Edmonton Eskimos. Benny Goods has got him on the run, has his shoulders turned where he can't get him. Brent, the Toaster Williams, has a shot at him, and then Benny comes back again. You can't on-tackle a big guy like this. You got to get your shoulder into him, get him down on the ground.
First and 10. Barrett directing traffic, going long. Smith! He could go. Touchdown, Calgary! From Danny Barrett to that man, Pee Wee Smith, and he ran right into the Calgary dressing room. Calgary on top, 37-36, 1:02 to play. What a dramatic ending. Let's take a look at that one again.
Danny Barrett doing a great job of buying time, getting outside, and what he did was wave Pee Wee Smith down the field, and when he did, he was able to get behind Roy Bennett, one-on-one coverage. They've got good protection up front and good coverage by the Edmonton defense downfield. But then Danny Barrett just happens to spot him getting the seam behind Roy Bennett, and there it is, a big score, and it puts the Calgary Stampeders ahead, 37-36.
Well, do you go for 2 points or do you go for the single point? You're up 37-36, 1:02 to play. McLaughlin is on the field to attempt the convert. They settle for the single point, and it is 38-36. Favor the Calgary Stampeders, who have once again come from behind in a playoff game. This one is far from over. Behind.
See, special teams have always come down to become as desire and effort, and it couldn't be more instrumental than on this kick.
McLaughlin kicking off following the touchdown. Ellis at the 20. And he gets out to about the 27-yard line. Sapunjas makes the tackle. And how did Danny Barrett react after that touchdown?
He's the pass. That's it. He knew it.
Smiling from ear to ear, and well he should. What a job Barrett has done. A one-time slot back in the CFL. Now an outstanding quarterback. 1st and 10 for the Eskimos. The pass is complete at the 35-yard line. Jordan Gartner hauls it in from Tracy Ham. 52 seconds to play. We'll keep a sharp eye on that clock.
Calgary very contented to sit back in a soft zone and force Tracy Ham to throw the ball in front.
2nd and 2 for the Eskimos. Ham in the grasp, and then he gets out. Will Johnson in pursuit. He finally gets a pass away. It's complete to Sandusky. And that is good for the first down, but that burned up some time. 39 seconds to play now.
For all intents and purposes, Calgary defense, what they like to do is just corral him. Don't let him break containment like he normally does, because Tracy at that time becomes the most dangerous, and that's when the opportunity for those receivers to work open downfield, and a big play could happen.
A field goal would do it for the Eskimos. The only trail by 2. 1st and 10 from the 39. Clock is running. Ham out of the pocket. Looking deep. Complete to Sandusky. Make that the Giz. Henry Williams. But now the ruling indicates out of bounds. At one point it looked like the Giz had it in play, but how close was it?
You can see now Tracy has already broken containment, and the Giz is just trying to find a spot so that Tracy can find him. He's up, he makes the catch and comes down. We can't see it just from the camera angle, but if his feet hit on those white surface down there, he was out.
So they'll do it again. 2nd and 10. 31 seconds to play. 4th quarter. Stampeders up by 2. 38-36. Tracy Ham again eludes the rush. Now he's under pressure. And he steps out of bounds. He kills the clock with 22 seconds remaining to play. And you have to feel for that man. Lloyd Fairbanks, 38 years of age, looking for his first ever appearance in the Grey Cup.
17 years, 257 games.
He can't watch.
That's George, the equipment man there, taking consoling. George has been there about as long as he has.
Only that man has played longer than Lloyd Fairbanks in the CFL. Ronnie Lancaster, 19 years. It's 3rd down. The play of the game. Marshall. And Marshall is stopped short of the first down. Dan Wicklund pulled down Marshall, and the Calgary Stampeders will take over on downs. This one is in the bag at long last. The Calgary Stampeders will win a playoff game in Edmonton. Reason indeed celebrate both here and down in Calgary tonight. Wally Buono will see his playoff record improved to 2-1. And now all Danny Barrett has got to do is kill off the clock. He drops to his knee on that one, 1st and 10. 13 seconds to play. 38-36. Favor the Stampeders. You said that this is what football was all about last week when the Stamps beat the Lions. I didn't think we could top it. I think we have here at Commonwealth Stadium.
Well, they say it don't get no better. It just did.
And there it is. The final gun here at Commonwealth Stadium. The Stampeders, who hadn't won a playoff game in Edmonton in 20 years. The drought is over. It'll be the Stampeders who go to the Grey Cup against the Toronto Argonauts with a thrilling come-from-behind 38-36 win over the Edmonton Eskimos on Commonwealth Stadium turf. Yes, Larry Rickman, the new owner of the Stampeders, you do indeed have it.
What great jubilation. What a great performance out here that we saw today. And you can't see it from this camera angle, but those 1,000 people, they're coming over the boards, and the fans and the players are going up and celebrating with them. It's a great feeling out here on this field today, and we're looking for a terrific matchup.
Disappointment for Ronnie Lancaster in his first year as head coach of the Eskimos, but nothing but jubilation. David Sapunjas over there greeting the fans. And here they come.
Here he is, the Molson MVP once again, 2nd straight week, Danny Barrett, and what a script you wrote for the 2nd straight week. 18 points down, you come through again.
Well, first of all, there's 2 things I'd like to say, before I get into the interview is I'd just like to give all the glory to God for allowing myself and my teammates just to hang in there for another week and show what we're made of. And the second thing I'd like to do is say, Calgary, we did it, and we're going to win the cup as well.
They've been waiting for this a long time, Danny.
They have been, and we got some diehard people down in Calgary, even the people that came up here. They were louder than the Edmonton people, and I'm just happy to be a part of this, but we're not done yet.
I thought you might have been done there. You went out for a while. What happened? And
well, I took a shot. I got dinged. I remember hitting my head pretty hard on the turf, and I couldn't recall what was going on, so I just had to regroup for a little bit. I told the defense just to hang in there for a little bit longer. I'll be back. They did a great job the second half of shutting down a good offensive team. What more can you say? We played our hearts out, and we were fortunate enough to come out on top.
Well, we could talk about the touchdown pass to Pee Wee. We're going to have a look at it. Tell us about the call.
Well, basically, we just went with our quads package, and they gave us a lot of zone. They came with some pressure, so I just got out of the pocket and waved him down the field, and he took off, and I just aired it up with his speed. He made a great play, and like last year, he was the guy that was called a GOAT because he dropped the pass like this. This year, you got to look at him here, sprint to the end zone. He made amends for it. Amen.
What's his song? You can't touch us?
Can't touch us. And again, when you got God in your life, it's hard to be denied.
Argos, that'll be fun for you.
It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to playing against my old teammates. Be ready to play, guys. We let you guys get away with one in Skydome. Be ready to go. Stymie, be ready.